Now, he was facing a great darkness and evil, really, at the time, that was trying to usurp God as the salvation of humanity. And while it may have appeared that the enemies of the light had won and slain him forever, his sacred body that was broken became a wondrous element in the inner realms of heaven and caused a glorious happening. It was as if he took in all that darkness into his being consciously and filled it with light and then shed it from his soul as light radiations out into the world. Easter celebrates our Lord's victory over death and that great darkness, changing the course of human destiny Godward from that moment forth. It is a mission that continues today to release the divine into our conscious knowing. For a moment, though, let us imagine what it was like to be those disciples that were closest to our Lord and how their faith was challenged upon the crucifixion, but what the return did to solidify their faith. Even the most hesitant to believe, like Thomas, saw the risen Lord, felt the wounds, and then fell to his knees and said, "My Lord, my God." He was really saying, "I believe." His faith was restored. They discovered in his return that Christ was not just for them, but this was a Christ for the whole world, that he was greater than anything that they had ever imagined him to be, higher than their highest aspirations. They contemplate his teachings, even though to the multitudes they may have had to be dimmed a little bit, but then they became deeper and studied more, like this mighty river flowing and touched and purified and made strong and spiritually dynamic whoever those living waters touched and cleansed. And so we must transpose our thinking today from the historical Jesus who became Christ, whom we reverence, and to whom we owe so much, to what he became in the living Christ today, a cosmic Christ working from the center of life itself for all people, all faiths. Flower says, he has now become the transformer that touches spiritual essence throughout all regions, including physical matter, and makes it something that can be Christified. It is the duty of every single person who loves Christ to Christify the matter of the atoms within his own body temple, as well as his emotional, mental, and character being, so he truly belongs to our Lord in the greatest sense. Isn't that a beautiful call note? Christifying our beings. Well, Christ came into earth life to broadcast in energy and vibration and sound the living word that would free people from their inner restrictions to be Christified, to receive the touch of God. So let us Christify our faith today. Looking out into the world, we know there are things today that used to require faith, but now are proven to be scientific fact. So when we look out at faith, we want to measure it with what science has come to and spirituality and beginning to share together. So we are going to look at some concepts that were introduced by Annette Capps in her book, Quantum Faith. And she is a devoted student of quantum physics and spirituality and has been lifted in her faith at where they merge together. So we have the wonderful Mark 11:23. For assuredly I say to you, whoever says to the mountain, be removed and cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Now, at first glance, that sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? Sounds impossible. And yet Christ said it. And then if we look at his miracles, he certainly performed great tasks equal to that challenge. So to understand it in maybe our terms, we have to explore quantum physics, which is breaking up traditional physical theories. Quantum physics is the study of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic levels, where classical physics does not apply. It reveals that the universe is probabilistic rather than deterministic, with key principles including wave-particle duality, superposition, entanglement, and the observer effect. There's almost this branch in there of intuition.